And let's see what we have available today, shall we? Oh, geez. -8, -12. Goes down real fast, but let's check out the armor store. Ooh, salamander hide armor. Or +8 chainmail as well. I mean, that's not too shabby. Salamander hide armor. Okay, AC decreases by 5. Not great, not great. It's +3 hide armor, I guess. And what's flames? Maybe we deal like melee damage. It's like some kind of Thorns effect. Chain is heavy for ranged, right? It's a little bit heavy. It'll slow us down to start off, but going up by 7 AC seems kind of nice. I guess cold resistance isn't exactly what we need at the moment here. Salamander armor looks interesting, but I don't think it's exactly up our alley. Let's check out this other shop and see what we get. I kind of hate wandering around at -12, but such is the life of a Meteoran, I guess. You could teleport to me real quick, my friend. Oh, jeez Louise. These sorcerers are not giving up easily. Let's idealize you, my friend. Oh, we're affected by good old Barbara here as well. We have barbs in our skin, so that could definitely come back to bite us. I'm going to read a teleport now, and we're probably just going to get the heck out of Dodge as soon as possible. Fantastic. Wait out the barbs. We have 600 more turns. Don't even think it's worth exploring the rest of floor 1. Let's just leave for the time being. We have enough turns to maybe finish off a bit more of that level. Definitely enough turns to head to Elf in the future. And so that's where we'll leave it for the time being. And not the best spot here on D13, but we can head downstairs immediately, get a few extra turns at our disposal. And that's not too shabby. Hey, there's some Potion of Degeneration. That's a free inventory slot finally. Woohoo! Oh, and a bit of shape-shifting action. I probably should have released my ancestor to help out. We would have been done by now, but hey. It is what it is. And Dex is much better than Strength, so we'll definitely swap those bad boys right away here. Again, move out of the way so our ancestor can join the fray as soon as possible. Lovely, just fantastic. And we will just keep sprinting our way through here. This is a bit more like it. High D scroll, don't mind if I do. And not too shabby here one way or another. Positive energy is one of the few things we don't need in this run. One of the few things we have in spades, really. How are we doing for willpower? 2 pips is not grand. We're getting to the stage in the game where we definitely want a little bit more magical protection than that. But I guess it is what it is, and we'll make do with what we've got. And let's keep going and check out our D5. Oof, we don't have great fire resistance, but enough to take care of that son of a gun. And not too bad here. I guess I do have to decide what I want to do here. We can attack once per turn at 37, or just under at 25. That is why I like the Arbalist. Hitting just hard instead of fast is kind of nice for taking out our opponents before they really get too much of an opportunity, especially with our ancestor doing a lot of the heavy lifting in regards to protection here. So let's try this. If I transference and I swap you, Kiddlywinks. Okay. That I can definitely get behind. Oh no, Kenrick. Oh buddy. And of course they had to be red ugly things. That's not exactly ideal for us here today. I can maybe make it to the stairs though. Just barely. Didn't quite make it on our lonesome, but we'll finish you off real quickly and just keep moving on. Ooh, look at that. More ugly things. Just what I needed. Fantastic. At least we're a bit better suited to face off against the boulder beetle with our friend by our side. Transference drains nearby enemies at high enough beauty, if you remember correctly. That makes sense, because we definitely had that little area of effect when we were casting it. So it definitely seems to have some sort of AoE like that. Okie dokes. I do not like a hasted two-headed ogre. Can I at least do this? Oh, and I'm paralyzed. Oh, that is terrifying. Well, let's go with fear to just get these sons of guns off my back as soon as possible. And then I'd rather stand on the stairwell here, ready to retreat at a moment's notice. Oh, right, they're hasted. Gotta remember that. To me, ancestor, to me. Transference once again, just swap you two real quick like. Fantastic. And not too shabby here. Terrifying in its own right, but not too shabby either. Go Kenrick, go. Yeah, okay. That is less than ideal. We'll head right back out of here. And okay, we have just under 2,000 turns left in the regular dungeon. We have a tiny bit more of D15 to explore. I guess we're pretty much at the stage where we're gonna have to start thinking of heading over to our S branches and seeing how we fare. I'm not looking forward to it. In fact, I'm terrified. I probably should have bought one of those armors while we were at it, now that I think about it, because this Slay -3 is definitely holding us back just a smidge, just a little bit from our true potential. Let's see what this shop, it looks like, has in store for us. No, not this way. Maybe down here? Oh, no, it's not a shop. It is our entrance to vaults. How about that? Well, in that case, let's leave you alone for the time being. Not worry too much about that on our end. And instead, we can just start exploring a wee bit more of D15, see what else we can find. A scroll of brand weapon is huge. So now is the moment of truth. Arbalist or longbow? I think Arbalist, because its high base damage means that it will scale very well with like a flame or a cold brand on it. So let's give that a shot. We do get flaming, perfect. And while we're at it here, I have one scroll of enchant weapon. Let's throw that bad boy on. And see where that leaves us. Fantastic. Potions of invisibility? Boo. I'm too shiny, of course, for that kind of shenanigans. Ooh, and Kenrick regains the memory of his broadaxe of flame. I don't mind that whatsoever. The +8 glaive of tomorrow is a cool weapon, but I don't think we'll be using that. And more hand crossbow. I was waiting for, yeah, triple crossbow as well in the shop. Just really make us regret using up our scrolls slightly early there. But fortunately, we managed to luck out in that regard. Use a bit of Idealize to keep our ancestor alive here at the end of the day. And just barely killing that flame giant. Definitely was taking more damage than I cared for there, but not the end of the world. One way or another. Now I'm going to find damnation now and be rewarded. Oh, that would be nice for sure. I would not mind. A little bit of damnation in your life would feel real nice right now, but I'm not too worried about it one way or another. I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting. And let's head to that stairwell, shall we? In fact, do we head back to Lair? Back to our S branches, maybe? Still haven't found that swamp entrance, which is going to be really bad because we don't have the Zot turns to really make do with it. I guess we have 2 magic mapping if we're very desperate. No poison resistance for snake, but it's not the end of the world. We've done it before. Let's hopefully find swamp or shoals first, though. Could be nice. And we'll keep on keeping on. What is the skill that we want for Arbless for min delay here? Oh, we've already hit it. Right, longbow is just slightly higher. Oh, and that's why longbows are kind of better than Arbless, I guess, if you reach full capability with them. But that's fine, we can instead turn that off for now and start focusing a bit more on some of our other defenses, maybe a little bit of dodging, wouldn't mind more armor training as well. What else do we want? Like invocation, maybe? Just keep cranking up the power level of our ancestor and their abilities. Let's try that out, shall we? Dodging, I only want to bring up to 10 or so. And okie dokie. Do I think my entrance is here? Swamp or shoals? Not seeing any water around. I guess if we take a peek at our lower floor here, it's also not looking fantastic. Just a few of these little offshoot areas left to explore. I guess we have an okay amount of time remaining, so it might not be the end of the world one way or another. Got portal projectile, if so throw in some necromancer summons. I don't believe we do. Oh, we do actually have portal projectile. So we could go hexes and translocation. Greatly increased accuracy, I guess. Be interesting. I don't know, I'm tempted to just keep on with our current routine here, kind of build in a similar way that we did for our Baraki run, since it worked out so well for us that time around. I wouldn't mind. Ooh, Broad Axe of Flames goes great against Hydra Pals. And it's not looking like our entrance to Swamp or Shoals is available on this floor. I guess there's still a tiny bit left to explore, but I would hazard a guess that it's actually waiting for us down below. Oh, there we go. Of course, this game just has to make a fool of me at the perfect moment. Fantastic. But okie doke, so we have shoals. So at least we could potentially head to shoals first. Still terrified for Javelineers, but we should have enough damage output to murder them before they become too much of an issue. Maybe get access to resist poison while we're here. Let's check out shoals, shall we? Give it a looky-loo, a little bit of a peek here. And again, hopefully we just outdamage everything by such a large margin that we sprint our way through the beaches here without much ado about nothing. Wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Okay, here's our first real encounter with full supportive enemies. No Javelineers or anything, of course, but still a little bit sketchier than we've seen as of late, and so far, not going too poorly, all things considered. I say as I suddenly take a large flurry of damage there with all of our fawn friends. 30 damage each, huh? Definitely a bit high. Wish I had some slightly better defenses under my belt. Guess that's the kind of disadvantage of shoals, is just how wide open all the areas are, so I can't really rely on my ancestors quite as much as I normally would. Oops, there we go, that's what I was trying to do. So transference. So it is just draining, so that's not perfect. Guess I can take these Kiddlywinks on a little bit of a mini hike here. As long as it's only one of them being able to hit me at a time, then we're not in too bad of a spot here. We have 2 heal wounds, so let's use up one of those now before things get dire. So we get rocketed away with the wind blast there. But come on, buddy. Airstrike, always a bit of a pain in the butt here, but fantastic. We managed to take out our friend. And let's, before we waste too many turns here, just head back up into Lair. Can even explore some tiles here to get some quick healing done before we head once more into the breach. Oh geez, Ancestor, you took some heavy hits there almost immediately. Not great when you see your tank go down to half health in one shot, but hey, I'm sure we'll figure it out in the long run here. And we'll pick up the spellbook while we're in the general vicinity, and let's just keep on heading down here, keep exploring to our heart's content. Now where is that Cyclops? There you are, my friend. It's at least not a horrible time to fall asleep, as we do have our Ancestor doing some of our good work for us. We also have cold resistance, so we actually should do okay against the Aquamancers and their ability to throw icicles. Very different from a lot of our more recent runs here. Let's definitely idealize on our Ancestor to make sure that they survive temporarily here at the very least. And just walk away from the alligator tortoise. In fact, let's engage in a bit of transference, shall we? Absolutely fantastic. Not too shabby whatsoever. That buddy's gonna hurt a heck of a lot. But fortunately managed to take them out before it becomes too much of an ordeal one way or another. Let's again idealize to make sure our Ancestor doesn't die immediately to the heavy damage of our tortoise pal there. But holy moly, we're definitely sprinting through shoals at a decent rate here, as to be expected with this style of character, so love to see that. But still absolutely terrified while we're at it. Oh, do we have to wait for the tide to go out, or is this just an impossible question here? I guess we could read or drink our potion here. Is this still solo number 2? I believe so. I don't know, others can definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that to be the case. Yeah, Gemini Duo, exactly. Gemini Duo. Do I bother flying across here? We have a decent number of turns still at our disposal. I guess if we pop our head up. Did we have any other downstairs nearby? Not so much. Now we can probably find one at a decent rate here. Again, we have enough turns to potentially explore around a bit, see the world, as it were. So that doesn't sound too horrible. And there we go, our first arbalist, or our first javelineer rather. So not ideal. Definitely took a decent chunk of change while we're in the mix there, but we managed to make it through in one piece, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day here. Ancestor, if you could do your thing, fantastic. And let's try this out. Gemini already means twins, so would Gemini Duo be number 4? maybe. But okie dokie. Not too shabby here. I was kind of hoping for Swamp when we originally came down here, just so that we could potentially find ourselves with a pair of Swamp Dragon Scales, bit of poison resistance before Snake, but not the end of the world one way or another. I'm sure we'll be fine in the long run. Ooh, an Artifact Greatsword. +5 Greatsword with Drain, Strength +4, and Stealth. Sure. I'll carry you around just for funsies. Again, we have the dex for it at least, so there is that. And not too shabby. Pep is also ×2, so it's 8. Oh gosh, hopefully it doesn't go that far for poor Gemini. 8 shots in, still having a rough go at it. Wouldn't exactly be ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll see how it goes, of course. Wouldn't put it past DCSS to give us some trouble, you know, make us earn our win here. So don't get me wrong, it is going to be a win, at least if I have anything to say about it. If good old Gemini has anything to do with it. But okie dokie. Here on Shoals 4, geez Louise, Dream Sheep, not exactly ideal. Can at least kill off the Air Elementalist before we get paralyzed, so that's nice. Let's definitely idealize as well before I get put to sleep. And if I could just take care of this, fantastic. The Trident Buddy there was the main concern for sure. And otherwise, not going too poorly for us, all things considered here. Minorly terrifying, as mentioned before. I'm hoping to get just some free healing without too many enemies coming this direction. As Kenrick gets paralyzed by the Elementalist there. Rough roll of the dice there, my friend. And let's see. Plus one Demon Trident of Flaming I'm not too worried about for the time being. Also, hello, Katra. Thank you so much for the 7 months Prime. Always appreciate seeing you around. I hope you're having a fantastic, I guess, mid-December here. Fantastic holidays so far. And always lovely to see you around. Have a great rest of your weekend. What's left of it here. On the other hand, getting paralyzed simplifies the decision tree. I mean, you're not wrong. That it definitely does in spades. And a Storm Dragon is what we have to face. I think we do have our elect, though. So that's putting us in a nice spot relative to where we normally are at this stage. Oh, Kenrick. Son of... You killed Kenrick! Ah! Just murder everything in our rage. And the last Impaler was a bit of a thorn in our side, but we managed to make it through that one okay. Not seen this Shoals in a while. I seem to get the Shoals like every single time without fail. More often than not with the Titan in the center instead of the Storm Dragon, but it's weird how consistent it has been lately. Pretty much every single opportunity, but I will regardless take it here. And let's check it out. Ring of Evasion, no thank you. I will take the rune though. Don't mind if I do. Shortbow freezing, I think we're fine without for now. And not too shabby. Whoa. Your name is Kenny and you've heard that joke like a million times. Had to double take really quick out of PTSD. I apologize, yeah. Feel like that's the constant refrain for most names in the world out there. People just aren't very creative when it comes to making their silly jokes. That's something that we always joke about with my mother-in-law, is she's really good at coming up with like very kind of schoolyard bully names. And so anytime that my partner and I are like, hey, here's a name that we'd like for our kids in the future, or a potential name, she'll do her best to come up with every single way she could possibly ruin the name and make fun of it. Not that it really matters. I feel like at the end of the day, every name is like that. So we all have our little things that we have to deal with at the end of the day. But okie dokie, we have quite a few extra turns here in Shoals, so I think I'll finish off a bit of the area. At least give it a good old shot here, good old try and see how it goes. And nice, the Kraken has fallen, the Kraken is dead. Not too shabby whatsoever. 800 turns remaining. Still potentially a bit of treasure left to pick up here. The Colgate usually get one where there are multiple rooms packed with enemies and rune is in one of them. Oh, like the little clusters, the little like circular shells, if you will. You were like, no way, and then you left it alone. Well, I appreciate you, you're in good humor about it. I definitely don't mean to call out, and it's just good old Kenrick here. But that's very cool. Yeah, I get that one a lot. As your uncle says, you got all 3 of your legs. You're doing okay. That's the spirit. But okie dokie. Do we bother exploring more of Shoals 2 or 3? Guess we have a few extra turns, so why the heck not? In fact, that blink scroll alone makes it worth the endeavor. Holy moly. And here I was gonna turn back. What a fool I would have been. And there we go, we're hitting all of our caps here, and what do we wish to train next? I guess a bit more fighting, never hurt nobody, bit of extra health to soothe our process here, a bit of extra armor training as well, just go full defensive. Now that we're pretty much slaying it on the offensive level, we could go with evocations. We have a few wands, not a lot of rechargeables yet, but hopefully that changes in the near future. I guess we might as well, let's bring Evo up to like 10. At a +2, that will happen in no time flat. It's an ID scroll behind bushes. Do I care enough to go back for it? Probably should have seen it. It looks like we're pretty much all ID'd, so I'm not going to be too worried about it, but thanks for pointing it out for sure. And hello, Francis. Looks extremely dangerous indeed. Do I dare? Could just TP now and get the heck out of Dodge. And in fact, let's do it. Let's not get too big for our britches here. It's not a big deal. Oh, hey, here's the ID scroll that you were talking about. Yeah, I don't think we'll worry too much about it for the time being here. Let's just head out. We're in desperate need of experience or whatnot. We can always come back there in the future. And yeah, I guess, are we ready for Snake? Am I ready? Not really. But might not have much of a choice at the end of the day here, so let's just head for it. Call my ancestor. Ooh, and we hear coins being counted. We haven't spent money in a while here. Could be one of those right there. Let's come back in the future if I forgot a Meteoran. No, that's what I mean though. We've left enough turns to come back in the future if we're desperate to do so. Ideally, it's just not a concern and we don't have to worry about it. That's the plan at least.